we collected a group of 6 people, and we've been working pretty intensely on making a new book. So if you remember, this one is Aham Sparana, and this is from the same manuscript. We have taken out about 250 pages of Vichara, which is self-inquiry. And we're going to the printer in 10 days' time. So we'll have the first books when we're in India, and the balance we'll have them when we get back in February. So this is very exciting. It's been a very intense time, but very beautiful, very beautiful. And I think most of you have probably read the first book, where we introduced Gathapati, a young man, a young Indian man who'd been very well educated and who spoke very good English, and it turned out wrote very good English. And while he was 6 months in the ashram, he had been every day writing a diary at night. He hardly slept, and at night he would write this diary. And I think in 1948, after he'd left the ashram, he came back with a friend of his who was a resident in the ashram. They went to Bhagwan and showed the notebooks, and Bhagwan said, very good, very good. And so then he prepared a book. So in 1950, we discovered he had sent the whole book to his friend in the ashram. So basically the Ramana ashram must be in their archives, have got the original 6 months manuscript. And unfortunately, since that time, I mean, that was 74 years ago or something. Since that time, half of the manuscript is lost. So the material that's available now is for July, August, and September, 3 months. But the original manuscript would have been 6 months. So this year, when we go to India, we're going to try to see if we can find in the archives, in the bottom of the cupboard, some tatty old papers. I don't know what will be there. The other beautiful thing was that on the last afternoon, or last morning, Gathapati had gone to the hall where Ramanas were always sitting. And as he was leaving for lunch, Ramana wrote a note on a piece of paper, very unusual. And this note said, "Come in the afternoon." So in the afternoon, it was his last few hours, in the ashram. And he'd been there for 6 months, extremely devoted to Bhagwan. I mean, amazingly devoted. I mean, can you imagine every night writing the diary of all the things that were spoken? It's clear that they had a very deep connection. So on this last afternoon, it turned out that he was invited alone to the hall, and the guards were told nobody else can come in. And even he told the guard to go outside after a while. And they had a very strong meeting where Ramana basically said to this young man, "You have something you want to say." So Ramana knew exactly what he wanted to say. And this young man finally blurted out, "Father, can I call you father? Just one time, father." And then Ramana said, "Well, if you say it one time, is that going to be enough?" So there was a very deep connection between them. And then suddenly he lost his bananas, and he said, "Father," 25 times or something, collapsed on the floor. And the next thing he remembers is that he woke up and he was covered in vomit, and Ramana was sitting on the floor with him, wiping the vomit off. So, I mean, this is a truly unusual kind of meeting, I would say, with Ramana. So the next thing that happened was he basically lost consciousness, and he woke up in the station, sitting in the train. There was a whole bunch of people from the ashram had carried him, must be, to the station and put him in the train. And that was his goodbye afternoon. And I don't really know, because how could I judge from this distance, but it feels to me like he probably left as a self-realized person. Because one of the slightly shocking things about doing this book on Vichara, on self-inquiry, when he's challenged, Ramana admits that the fastest, the most direct way to become realized is to totally surrender, not self-inquiry. So for him, it becomes clear in this book that self-inquiry is a beginning. It's a way of seeing the mind, of dealing with the mind, but the true devotee, when they just absolutely accept what is going on from moment to moment, this is the fastest and most direct way to realize the self. And I have a strong hunch that this is what happened with this young man. But of course, I don't really know. So it's been a very interesting time. We've worked pretty much intensely for the last 2 months on this book. And now we have a date with the printer in 10 days' time. So it's quite exciting. And we got so inspired that we've already done the groundwork for a third book, which is on surrender. So we have about 250 pages already selected from the original manuscript about surrender. And then, of course, we have a trilogy. So then we thought about a box. We get a box and put the 3 books in. I'll make it into a really nice special thing. Anyway, it's the kind of thing you can give to gurus on their 80th birthday. Anyway, so yeah, we've been having a pretty amazing time. So here we are. So I would like to invite you to come and sit here, and we have a little dialogue, a little whatever happens, energetic meeting. We do have a microphone, so you could ask a question from where you sit, but we have much more fun if you come here and we play together. Somebody like to start? Very good, very good. So now we've got the first one. The secret of this game is that when he has enough and goes to sit down, you have to immediately come. Then the energy just kind of keeps working. Hi. So you've probably been having an intense time yourself recently.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you still a family man, or are you now single?
I still don't know.
Oh, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I know that the kids are very important to me. So I spent a lot of time with the kids recently, and the time was much more intensive than before because it was special now. It was valuable, yeah.
And they're teenagers almost, aren't they?
They're teenagers.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
And also I can feel that they enjoy it very much.
Right.
So that's quite different from before, because before it was like everyday life, and then it's also about like educating them and so
Brushing their teeth and stuff like that.
It's
Yeah.
different stuff now, but yeah, the same idea. And now it's totally not about that, right?
Right.
We just enjoy spending time together. So
Right.
it's very, very different. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's very special. I mean, when I think about being 80, which is hard to think about actually, but when I look at these 2 girls in my life who are 8, I mean, many times when we're together, there's not really a difference between 80 and 8 as long as I don't look in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's always a shock to see a picture of me with the girls, and there's some kind of very old guy with a white beard, and these 2 bright little girls. But the energy is very lovely. It's such a gift, in fact. Yeah. All right.
I didn't come here with a topic, so I just felt the impulse to come.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. But presumably from what you're saying, you've been spending more time in Germany than in Switzerland, so they're having an influence on your decision about where you're going to live now.
Well, I still travel back and forth.
Yeah.
So I spend the weekends here.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, living situation is not so easy actually. Yeah. So.
No.
So everything is a bit floating at the moment. So.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Delicate.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and the surrender thing, I feel like this is really becoming more important for me now. Yeah. So self-inquiry, I did a lot, and I think it
made
changed.
A difference, yeah.
It made a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
But now somehow, well, the only thing I'm interested is really the heart. So
Right, right.
changed completely, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this man who wrote the diary, you see, he when he first came to the ashram, he didn't really want to come even. His parents wanted him to come to that to the town, to thank some people in the temple because they'd sent some medicine for him because he had been sick. But he wasn't really interested, except that he had a dream just before his parents brought him. He had a dream in which he saw a man wearing not very much, walking around on the mountain, right? And so when he came into the hall, his parents brought him in, and he saw Ramana sitting on the couch. He I think, completely surrendered in that moment because he was the same guy from the dream. So how powerful could that be, you know? So then basically, I think in that very first moment, some kind of profound energetic happening. And then basically for the whole 6 months he was there, he was in this tremendous devotional, what he said, my spiritual practice is devotion. And then on this last afternoon, you can imagine, he didn't want to leave actually. But his parents, when they brought him, made an agreement, okay, you can stay 6 months. And then after about, 4 months, the auntie in the family, because you know in India it's always kind of complicated. So anyway, somebody in the family arranged a marriage for him with somebody he knew. And so he didn't want to leave to get married. But somehow they'd already discussed this, and so he couldn't not leave. So in order to stay with his surrender, if you like, it meant that surrender also included doing something he didn't particularly want to do, which was to leave and marry somebody. But he did it, and I think, this surrender carried on, kind of, you can say.
I think this is in the book, in the Aham's Purana, right?
Yeah.
He's actually talking to Ramana about this.
Yeah,
about Ramana tells him.
Yeah, basically Ramana says, well, actually somebody in the hall said, you remember what you said a few months ago, so now is your moment. Oh, we have a Rosa from the Spanish. Was it last weekend we were in Spain?
Yeah.
So last weekend, maybe you don't all know this, we made a celebration to open the community in Spain. So we had, I think about 30 people from the local towns came to the weekend. And then 8 or 9 people stayed for the whole week. And one of the ladies has come back for, I guess, I don't know, today is what, Friday, maybe for this weekend she's come back. Yeah. And then we've got somebody who's in India by the look of him. He's got Arunachala behind him. This is an English version, I think, of Arunachala. I remember amongst the many meetings that happened with Ramana, yeah? There was a Western person who was asking him, you know, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? And Ramana's answer was very, very beautiful. Be as you are. Be as you are. And this is so profound, yeah? Because if we be as we are, that's it. That is the surrender. Be as you are. And that's not so easy, of course, when you're in a situation where you feel the love for these teenagers and you feel love for the lady, but the lady's you're not quite sure how that's going to work out. So it's a very strong moment for you, I would say. And in a way, it's challenging how you were feeling a few months ago, right? When you had this big opening. And now, in a way, are you going to go with that deep surrender that happened? Or what?
Well, back then, that was in Spain, yeah? I would not, I mean, to me it didn't feel like surrender really what happened.
No?
Basically what happened is that I lost the idea that I'm doing the things, right? I'm the doer. So this is more like a experience thing.
All right. Yeah, but you kept telling us that that everything is all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is all right as it is.
That's also true, but it was more like a seeing. It's like a clear seeing. Yeah.
Right.
Nothing has to change.
Right.
But there was no love really. It was just more like the intellectual approach, right?
Right.
This self-inquiry approach. Now it's really quite different. Now it's all about it's really quite. I've never had this before, right?
He's a very interesting character because he's a really very well qualified IT guy who flies from Germany down to Switzerland to work in companies down there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in a way, what's happening to you is a lot like your wheels are coming off. Yeah.
Yeah. I change a lot. That's true.
I mean, that's why I was very happy when I heard that you accepted my idea and are coming to India. Because by the end of 3 weeks in India, your wheels, you won't even be able to find your wheels. They'll have fallen off and rolled down the hill or something.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it feels like the right thing now.
Yeah, I think you'll find it very strong, actually. Yeah. I managed to convince a couple of other slightly together men, you know, that they might have some value in kind of letting things fall out a bit. I mean, when I think of India now, it's very interesting because I've been going to India for many years. But when I think of it now, I think of one particular woman. And for me, I think of her as India. Mm-hmm. And she's an enormously intelligent woman who I think she actually came to meet, to be in the ashram, in Ramana ashram. But she went to meet, what's his name? Oh, right. And he's such a different guy from Ramana. He's much more like Neem Karoli Baba, this kind of mystical stuff happening around him all the time. And this woman is now looking after his ashram. And she's just such a heart. You'll just have to cry when you meet her. I just love this woman completely. That's why I can say she's India, you know. There's such a particular quality around this woman, you know. And such a living devotion, you could say. And we've had some wonderful days with her. We go to her ashram for the whole day, and we spend the day with her. I find some excuses to talk to her, and people ask her questions and so on. But there's such a sense of being amongst this woman, you know. It's not like any woman you meet in Europe. It's an Indian quality of woman. Yeah. So these sort of moments are going to be very touching, I think. Yeah. Well, let's see. I can only hope that she doesn't take you back until at least you come back from India. I shouldn't say that probably, but
No, now it feels like I have to do it. Yeah? So I will do it, no matter what.
yeah.
And also it feels like this floating kind of situation, it will last for a while. So
Yeah.
could well be that
When you come back from
things
India, it'll
become
be
more clear
perfect.
after
Yeah,
India.
yeah.
Let's see.
Right. Well, if you need a room sometime, we have a few extra rooms here, you know, don't worry. We'll look after you. Okay. Okay. Nice. You guys missed the moment, but you can still come. Okay.
Kann ich Übersetzung haben?
Ja.
Nice to see you here.
Yes, thank you.
You can just pull this a little bit.
Oh,
If you just, and maybe the whole thing, because you're. Can you help her? I can't really.
oh, can do this. Oh,
No, I think better the other way. But,
so?
okay.
Ja?
Fine. Yeah.
Okay. Es war ein total verrückter Tag heute.
It was has been a very crazy day today.
Oh yeah.
Züge fuhren nicht, Verspätungen, schnelle Entscheidungen und dann war noch meine Bahncard abgelaufen.
So various difficulties in the traveling with the public transport, and then also my how do you say it? My ticket for the train was not valid anymore.
Oh, right. Okay.
Und zum Schluss habe ich meinen Rückfahrtzug zu früh gebucht am Sonntag, weil ich das so verstanden hatte, dass am Sonntag gar nichts mehr stattfindet.
And then I also booked my return ticket wrongly because I understood that there will be nothing on Sunday.
Und Nataraj hat versucht, mit mir das vorher zu lösen.
And Nataraj tried to help me to change it,
Okay.
Aber es hat nicht geklappt,
but it didn't work out
weil ich habe es nicht online gebucht,
because I didn't book it online.
sondern in der
I booked it
Bahnhofsservicestelle.
at the station.
Well, we probably got another room for you. Don't worry about it.
Wir haben auch für dich noch ein Zimmer, mach dir keine Sorgen.
destiny is happening, everybody's coming to stay.
Das Schicksal arbeitet, alle bleiben hier einfach.
Ja. Was arbeitet hier noch?
But you seem quite okay with all that drama, yeah?
Ja, aber es scheint so, dass du ganz okay bist mit diesem ganzen Drama.
Ja, aber es ist irgendwie verrückt. Es hat mich schon etwas zeitweise nervös gemacht, also unterwegs. Durch diese verschiedenen, ein Fehler nach dem anderen oder ein Problem nach dem anderen.
Yeah, it feels a bit crazy, and on the way when I was traveling I also got a bit nervous because there was like one mistake after the other.
Manchmal denke ich, das Leben ist zu aufregend für mich und ich kriege das nicht mehr hin, was da auf mich zukommt.
Sometimes I think the life is just too exciting for me and I can't manage what's all coming to me.
Right. You can get some dark glasses, and then wear those.
Ja.
There's a very well-known fashion editor, and she's famous for wearing black glasses. Even in the evening, when it's dark, she wears black glasses.
Da gibt es eine
Become her
ganz
kind
bekannte
of-
Modedesignerin, die trägt immer schwarze Brillengläser, sogar abends.
So that if you wear black glasses, you kind of bring yourself back more inside, I think.
Also wenn du diese schwarzen Brillen trägst, dann kannst du dich selber mehr nach innen bringen.
In fact, a natural, you say, is helping you. Have you got your red glasses with you? He hasn't got them. Maybe after the meeting, as you've got this nice connection, he's got these glasses which are kind of red. Would you call them red or orange? Orange glasses, right? And apparently, I tried them just for a few minutes, and it was too much for me. But makes you feel very comfortable or something, yeah?
Der Natarash, der hat so eine orangene Brille. Der kann dir die vielleicht mal ausleihen oder kannst du gucken. John David hat die auch schon probiert, aber ihm war es ein bisschen viel.
Yeah, maybe you should try those. He's an expert.
Aber er ist ein Experte, vielleicht probierst du die mal aus mit ihm.
But I mean, I don't really know how to answer what you just said, but my guess is that somehow existence has it all worked out, that we can always just manage whatever comes to us,
Also ich weiß jetzt nicht, wie ich das beantworten soll, was du mich gefragt hast, aber ich glaube, die Existenz, die macht das schon alles, dass du immer so viel kriegst, wie du so gerade managen kannst.
For example, with this book story, last night around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, I was in a total crisis because we suddenly discovered that the printer we were going to use in Poland, he wanted the material, when did he want it? I think on Monday, and we were planning the end of next week, So it was like, how can we do that? It's impossible.
Also gestern Abend hatte ich eine totale Krise, weil unser Drucker in Polen plötzlich gesagt hat, dass er die Sachen schon am nächsten Montag jetzt braucht und nicht am Ende der nächsten Woche.
And then Om had the great idea that we can have it printed in India.
Und dann hatte Ohm die großartige Idee, dass wir das auch in Indien drucken lassen können.
So that is fantastic. Today we got onto the phone and to the printer in Chennai. He will give us another week to get the material together, so suddenly we have time. He will print the book and Om can pick it up in Chennai on the day we arrive and distribute it in Chennai and to our distributor and so on.
Ja, mit unserem indischen Drucker konnten wir das heute alles klar machen, dass wir jetzt noch über eine Woche Zeit haben und der das dann alles noch rechtzeitig druckt, wenn wir nach Indien kommen.
So suddenly today, again, I feel like I can handle this project, because last night there was a feeling like, I don't know how we're going to manage this, because I was desperately trying to get it ready for, I think it was the 14th, and then he wanted it much earlier in Poland. But now suddenly we've got an extra 10 days, so suddenly it all feels fine again.
Ja, und heute fühlt sich das wieder so an, als ob es doch alles geht. Gestern fühlte es sich an, als ob das gar nicht klappen könnte, alles.
So somehow it seems to me that existence gives us what we can manage.
Mein Gefühl ist, dass die Existenz uns das gibt, was wir so handeln können.
Well, I've got all these nice flowers here. I just have to choose the one that suits you. Maybe this one. I think could be nice for you. Thank you.
Thank you. You can help me.
So is there a new installment of the life of Madhu?
A new storm?
A new chapter, or what's going on in your life since we met last time?
Yeah, so last time our last conversation like really triggered me.
Did it?
Yeah. Obviously. But it's just like these body contractions that I told you.
What did I say to you? Did I say something not so...
No, not so bad. You just said I'm stupid and...
mild, very mild feedback. Yeah. You're stupid. Do much better than that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't remember. But yeah, just these body contractions continue.
Yeah.
Nearly every day. And change.
And these contractions happen when you're kind of relaxed, or when there's some kind of stress?
When I'm alone and when I'm relaxed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then they are like very different. And it's weird.
You say it feels weird, did you say?
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird.
It is weird. It's not normal.
It's not normal.
No.
So you would be just sitting in a chair, or you'd be lying in bed, or how does it work?
So I go home, and then sometimes, I think it changed, because at the beginning it was just like happening out of my control, and now like I kind of do it. It happens like consciously, but I don't do it for fun. Like I kind of have the feeling that I have to do it, and then like I walk up the stairs, or I'm like in my room.
So when you're in your room, you sit in a chair, and then you can feel something energetic is going to happen, or does happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I notice it when it happens.
And how does that feel like? Like tingling up your spine, or what do you feel?
So, well, it changed, because it was mostly it changed that I had to do like my face, very weird. And then it was like really low in my stomach, and then kind of moved upwards, but then also just different parts.
But it basically feels nice, does it? It feels like a lightness, an openness happening, or not like that?
I don't really know.
But it's not. Doesn't sound unpleasant. Yeah, you're smiling as you tell me, so I guess it's not unpleasant.
Well, it's exhausting.
Huh?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
But it's not like unpleasant.
And so, how many hours does it go on when it starts?
So it depends on the day. It used to be like in the entire evening till I would like fall asleep when I'm at home, and now it's just sometimes.
For half an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
And then maybe not, and then again.
But it's become friendly now. You feel friendly about it.
Yeah. yeah, it's just weird because then it's like in my neck, like my throat. Yeah.
So didn't we figured out something before, yeah? We talked about it. Did I suggest that maybe things from your past where you were maybe got in some way stressed, and this is now releasing, because basically it seems that in the last period you became much more relaxed in your life, yeah? You don't feel so much pressure from your family anymore, and you don't feel maybe you're not studying what you really, really want to study, but it's kind of neutral, yeah, your studies.
Yeah.
So it may be that old things are relaxing, yeah, and so you get this energetic things happening,
Yeah.
but you're still smiling.
I don't know.
Are you smiling inside?
Yes, most times.
All right. So which book are you going to ask your mother to buy you this year? She told me the story how since she was about 15 or 16, she'd been asking her mother to buy her a spiritual book every year at Christmas. So she's read The Power of Now, she's read the Be Here Now from Ram Dass. So she's been reading all these classic spiritual books since she was a teenager. And now she's studying sports. What is it called? Sports? Was that it? Sports.
Science. Yeah. I don't think I will ask for a book actually.
No?
Because I've read too many.
Oh, you read too many books.
Too many of like those spiritual books.
Right. And now you're having spiritual experiences every night, so you probably can spend Christmas kind of shaking, you know.
Yeah.
You can ask Mum, hey Mum, do you want to join me? I'm having a spiritual experience. We can share it together.
Yeah, then I will show her and she will be like, this is fun.
So do you think I should give you a flower? I don't know. I don't quite know which one is good for you, actually. Maybe this one. Do you like this one? It's rather a nice game, this.
Thank you.
My girls have given him a new name, Spider-Man. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I love them. Actually, I came because I want a flower.
Oh, right. Unfortunately, I only give them to girls, but I can.
Yeah, but I feel like a
give
girl.
I can give you something like this. You know? I'm only joking. I'll keep that for somebody that I don't like when they come. I'll give them.
Okay.
I'll give you a nice
Don't give
flower.
it to me.
You can even choose which one you like.
It feels so soft.
What?
It feels like I'm discovering a new softness.
Yeah.
Softness in me. This.
But I've always felt you're quite soft. No, you're not. You seem to me always soft since you've been here.
Yeah, but it's this kind of this maybe I'm a softie. You know?
Well, you came for a flower. I mean, that. I mean, boys are not meant to be so much into flowers, you know.
I'm sorry. This protection shield.
Yeah.
That's always like I need to do stuff. I need to know stuff.
Yeah. To keep the enemy away.
Yeah, keep the enemy away because everyone's
Okay.
trying to see who I really am. This.
What do they discover that you are? I mean, that's why you're called Spider-Man. It must be my girls managed to find out some secrets we don't know.
Yeah, there's this strange idea that I'm some kind of monster.
Oh, they've given you the name as a monster because they don't like spiders. You know, if there's a tiny little spider, I mean, they go, you know, I have to grab it immediately and put him outside.
Maybe they know something, huh?
Yeah, you should ask them about that. Maybe. I don't even know who Spider-Man is. Actually, is there a special character? Yeah. Oh, okay. He's a hero on the superhero. Wow. Well, there you are. You're a superhero. And how's your kind of authority, daddy issues? Are they relaxing a bit?
Yeah, definitely. A bit.
A bit. Not
Yeah.
too much.
Today it felt a bit easier to be around you in daily situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was very easy today because I was in my room all day. You
No, since those few situations, and actually I drove with Amelia, I don't know, yesterday or 2 days ago, and with her I had a similar situation.
Yeah.
Like the same kind of energy hitting me.
Yeah.
When she said something, I didn't understand something, and then I asked her again, and then I didn't understand it again, and she was like, "Why is he not understanding me?" I was driving the car. It was all safe though.
So you think I'm a bad influence on Amelia then?
No, she's a perfect second teacher to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people have had some kind of unusual experience with Amelia, because she has this knack of saying things which are extremely honest, yeah, very direct and honest, and you can't help but feel that she got you. It's like she gets the bullseye every time. Well, maybe not every time, but she has this ability to come very easily, very deeply with people, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Like I had another situation when I was driving her a few months ago, when I was very much into this, I mean I still am, but in this I'm not nice, I'm not good enough thing. And then we were talking about you and her mother and how nice they are. And then she said, "But you are also nice." And this really made me immediately cry. So, she really has a knack.
That's nice, yeah. Well, she was asking me tonight what we were going to do tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow you could take them somewhere if you have to make time for that. You could take them on a little trip somewhere.
Yeah, I donated them to go for ice cream in the summer.
Yeah,
maybe I can do it tomorrow.
A bit cold for ice cream, maybe. Yeah. But there's various parks that they like to go, where there are animals or some nice, play area for kids. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, your Nataraj also has some issues with me. He still don't really like your daddy so much, yeah? No. So he projects this daddy he doesn't like onto me, I think. Is that right? Is it getting better?
I mean, I don't feel it so much anymore.
No? I was looking at you at dinner tonight, actually. It seems to me, since I last met you, I don't know, a month ago or something is changing. Your face looked different tonight. Is it right that since your mother died, you've gone through quite a strong process?
Definitely. Definitely. A lot changed and is still changing.
All right. Yeah, I looked at you at dinner and I thought that something on your face is somehow really different. Yeah. Because, I mean, I was quite touched that when she died, unfortunately his mother, who was coming to the community sometimes, very nice lady, and unfortunately she suddenly got a very strong, what do they call it, a tumor, is it called?
Yeah,
Brain tumor. In the middle, right in the middle of the brain. So very quickly she deteriorated. I mean, and I don't know, I felt you handled the whole thing for you very well. You were very present with her when you needed to be there, and then when you came back, you were, it seemed to me, very grounded out of all that. And something, therefore, now I look at you again, when I'm looking at you now, I mean, your face has changed a lot, I think. Are you aware of that inside? You can feel something inside?
In the months afterwards, I felt definitely more grounded.
Mm.
In the past weeks, I don't feel it so strongly, but maybe I just got accustomed to this, and now new things come out.
Well, maybe you come, because I'm actually talking to your friend here. He's going to start feeling not good enough if I talk to you instead of him. You know?
No, I was just thinking
I'll have to give him one of the biggest flowers, I think. This one is pretty big.
Whoa.
I think you have to get the biggest flower, then you can feel you're absolutely good enough. Yeah. You want to carry on talking? It's okay if you want. Yeah. If you have something.
I just want to say that it's so much nicer being around him recently in the last month. Yeah. And I mean, I work a lot with him, and it was really always a pain in the ass to work with him because of our same issues. And
right.
But now it's really going much more comfortable, and we still have those things we talk, and somehow in the end we don't know what the other said. Then we talk an hour later about it again, and then I'm often confused, didn't I say that? And did he really say this? And I just, But it's really, go and get it. I think at the moment I don't have anything more to say.
No? Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Does anybody else notice something, how he's changed? No? Nobody else noticed? I mean, I feel something has really changed in his face. Hmm?
I think he's more present. The sort of dreamer of him being in the clouds is a little bit lost. It's more grounded.
Do you feel more grounded?
Yes, I feel more grounded. I still feel I'm lost in the clouds sometimes.
Not in the clouds.
Both.
Oh, you are in the clouds.
I'm aware that I'm in the clouds, and I'm aware that I'm present. Both is there. And before I was more lost in the clouds and didn't even know that I'm lost in the clouds.
We have a few other people discovering that they're not always here. Yeah.
I mean, I feel right now very sad inside. I mean, sad and touched.
Yeah. You feel sad because I brought up this question of your mother?
I don't know. I don't know why. Actually, I feel thankful for attention from you and from Arjuna. I mean, yeah. And actually, that's what I discovered is some weeks ago, some new moments of sadness came inside me. Like the initial sadness kind of stopped, and then some weeks there was little sadness, and then for moments there's huge sadness in me. And I didn't know where it comes from. And it always went away after 1 or 2 minutes. I couldn't let it, I mean, I don't know, I couldn't do anything. It just stopped eventually. And what I found out that it's most likely when I was a child, I didn't get the attention from my mother that I needed. And this topic now kind of surfaces.
But I thought in your family dynamic, it was more your father not giving you attention. Wasn't that the problem that we have? That, when you lived in the family, I thought your brothers got the attention and your father kind of bit ignored you. Wasn't that the issue? I never heard you talking about your mother in that way.
Yes, I didn't know. I mean, I think it's both. Because there was just little space for me when I was young. Because we were 3 brothers nearly at the same age, and my parents were busy being emotional to each other.
I just get this picture of this little boy, hey guys, what about me?
I remember that I actually lost joy in lots of things because we were always free and there was little space for me in doing those things. For example, we went climbing and then one had to kind of secure, like my father secured one of us. And when we went all 3, then I just had to wait most of the time because my brothers were climbing. And then in the end I just said I don't want to climb at all.
Right.
I have one question.
Yeah.
It's to do with self-enquiry. It's some days ago you said that it's very important in a Zoom meeting to get rid of all the vasanas. And then self-realization kind of just happens. And before that it's impossible. And when I do self-enquiry, then I kind of stop looking at my vasanas in one way. Because I can't follow the chain of thoughts because I stopped the thoughts with the first thought.
I'll have to look in our new book on self-inquiry. I'm sure there's something here. I mean, one of the things I've discovered going through this material very kind of intimately is that, yes, I mean, he's making it very clear at various moments, talking to different people, that the vasanas have to be completely eradicated. And particularly the kind of everyday vasanas to do with our pleasure or normal lifestyle, you can say, if you like, like if we have to have a coffee at 11 every morning, you know, those kind of things, we wouldn't really feel are very important vasanas. But apparently we also need to deal with things like that. But yes, he makes it very clear that you have to let your vasanas go. You know? The other thing that in a way has been coming to me as I go through this material is that this who you know, the initial question 11 on Nanya in the Nanya book about how you do self-inquiry, yeah? This is really only a beginning. This is clear now going into this material that he sees that kind of repetitive asking of who am I, this is only a beginning. And that the real work with self-inquiry is to understand what he calls not self. Because from his point of view, the self is always there. There's nothing you can do to discover the self. The self is there. But what is not the self? In other words, what are the things that prevent you simply being with the self? Yeah? And that, in fact, the work that comes out of just asking these questions, who am I, and so on, which has an effect to quieten everything down. But there is some danger in quietening it down because, as you say, you can't actually think anymore. And so what he's making clear is it's not about getting to a point where you can't think anymore, because he strongly encourages you have to think about what is the not self. What are the things, if you like, which are preventing you simply living in the self all the time? Because that is clearly the invitation we get from existence, that we can simply live from moment to moment in presence, allowing whatever happens in our life, being able to accept whatever happens to us, even if our mind might judge it as not as good as some other possibilities. We just simply accept everything as it is. And this deep sort of devotion, you can say, to existence itself wasn't so. I didn't so understand that in terms of how he offers self-inquiry, because in the little Nanya book, that's not really so clear. So what he's offering in that book is these two questions. And then in this new book we're doing, I mean, there's many dialogues with Western people where they talk about it, and then he adds in lots of details which I wasn't aware of before. And then it becomes clear that one needs to examine the mind, one needs to get to know the mind, one needs to deal with, if you like, what he calls not self. Because you can't discover the self, because the self is always discovered. That's your nature. And that's why, you know, the most direct way is if we can completely embrace the self, then that's it, we're free. But that, of course, is not an easy thing to do. It's a very simple thing to do in one way, but it's an almost impossible thing. That's why I think Gachapati, because he had this dream, and then he came and met the man who was in the dream at the mountain, which was also in his dream. So Ramana was walking around, you know, on this Arunachala. Then he came there, he saw the mountain, was like, wow, this mountain was in my dream. And then when he met Ramana in the ashram, this is the man I saw wandering around on the mountain, you see. So, of course, that's a very strong, you know, deep kind of shock in a way, I guess you could call it a shock.
It's beautiful. It brings to me like life as a present, because every moment is a new present, and you don't know what's coming, and it's just like seeing this, and a new present comes.
Yeah, but it's really that simple, you see. And I would say in my own case, it sort of happened suddenly when I was with Papaji. And since that time, which is now about 30 plus years, gradually in those 30 plus years, I see that some sort of surrender that happened suddenly has been going kind of slowly deeper and deeper. And then more and more, I witness more and more miracles happening. Like today with you, I found this thing. I don't know if you heard from Om, but he sent me the Christmas email that I should check that it's okay. Right? And it had a button saying, click here for something I've forgotten. And I clicked here, and I came to the page on my website where we have these small videos. And then when I clicked on one of them, it came up with something about, we have to prove that you're not a bot, right? Nobody ever asked me to prove that before, I don't think. So then I clicked on where it said click to prove you're not a bot. What's a bot actually? Is that an automatic? Huh? Robot. Oh, it's a robot. Okay. So I clicked on where it says, you go to the robot or something, or you prove you're not a robot. And then everything went black. I couldn't watch it. And then I was a little bit wondering if you had really put it up correctly. But you don't even know about it. So
I don't know about it now.
No. But you probably should. Anyway, okay. But I mean, so for me, that's a kind of miracle, you see, because I wouldn't go and check those films normally, but because it was on the email, I clicked as I was passing, I just clicked, and then it showed me that actually the videos are not available. Anybody going there can't watch them because you've got to prove you're not a bot. And when you try to prove it, it goes blank, so it doesn't work. So I noticed these things happening in my life more and more in the last years. Just it feels like more and more as I'm accepting more and more, I'm given many strange kind of miracles. You could call them miracles. And that, of course, gives me much more confidence that my surrender is correct, that it's okay like that. Well, I guess I come to the flower giving time. Which one shall I? Do you have any preference? You like this little ones here or the white one?
The white one.
The white one. Okay. Oh, you've got a special one. Okay, it's got wire to keep it looking nice.
I was quite touched from Nataraj. I saw him the first time at the retreat in Spain, and when I came to the transformation week, I found him completely changed, much more grounded.
Right.
Really, everyone was stressed, and he was just there. And I remembered, hey, is this the same Nataraj from the retreat? And it was really touching. So, and also the thing with his mother.
Your mother has been ill since. She hasn't died.
She's just
Did you have
getting
something?
older. Yeah. She's now losing her mind
All right.
in a way. So yeah, but she's also 80, 85 now, and
Don't be careful what you say, yeah, because
when I was
I'm supposed to be enjoying this weekend. You know, I'm supposed to be celebrating being 80, but actually, I don't really know why you would ever want to celebrate being 80. So don't say that 85. You know.
Don't take it personal. Sometimes I'm looking for these. In German, we say Fettnapf. I don't know in English. And also was touched by the dinner. So many people in the room, and also to see, for example, her. I met Komala the first time when I was here in 2021.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I wasn't there.
Well, she meets many people.
And I thought I would never seen her again.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, in the hall, she entered the room. And this was really. I
think the girls were also a bit shocked to see you. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I find it so interesting to see all these different people, in a way, looking for the same. Yeah, it touched me.
But I mean, the crazy thing is we're all looking for who we really are, you know. So actually it's a very simple project. It's not really complicated, you see.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I was here sitting last time, I was also touched by these very simple words from Papaji, which are still in my mind. So these, you are at home, don't stay where you are, don't disturb yourself. And I think for me it's also all about surrender. And I think.
But this is sort of happening for you, isn't it? Because I don't remember when you came and met Kamala years ago. I don't remember you from that time, but there was quite a big gap, and then you showed up again recently, yeah? But now you've showed up again recently, now you're kind of connecting, yeah? So you've joined the Sangha group, you're coming to India, I think, yeah? So there's some big steps, really. And these are all towards your very own self, yeah. You're moving towards you, not to me or Open Sky House or something. You're moving more to yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things, that is very lovely about being in India is that when you kind of go out of the ashram for a walk in any direction, you know, and you meet the ordinary people, there's something about the way they live which is very simple and very present, even if they have no spiritual kind of philosophy or something that they're following, but they just naturally, the way they live their life in the village with each other and with their family and so on, often with animals around too, you feel this enormous kind of presence. So this is also something very lovely going to India, that the area around where we're going to be staying, there are, even in the ashram, I would say, because we have this team of about 5 or 6 women who live in the local village, and they come every morning to cook for us, and then they go back in the afternoon. And they've been coming for years. Can you imagine? I think it's about 10 years now, isn't it? More than 10 years. The same group of women show up once a year when we have our retreat. And they're full of smiles, and they're so happy to come and cook for us. It's very, very touching, actually. Yeah. So these things about India are very, very lovely, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And actually, I get more and more the feeling that, because for me, it's all about fear, losing or let go my fears, in a way. And I think more and more I have the feeling that when I was very little, I was quite open, but it was too much. And there I had this, I don't know, I built up some something between me and the existence or world or whatever you call it. And but I still remember, there is, I think I know that it is possible to just surrender to everything, but
and fear comes.
Fear comes.
Somehow it's around inside from the past, and it's still then.
Yeah, it's very strong. It's very strong still. Yeah. Even if I know it, but it's okay. I know it, and I have to be a little bit of also patient, or not hitting myself. Oh, you have again fear. You are a loser.
Right. Yeah, but you can gradually, surely see that the fear is not really about now, you know. For example, if I pick this up, you don't think I'm going to throw it at you, do you? Huh? You don't have a fear that I'm going to throw the water at you.
No,
yeah, I'm just going to probably drink it, you know. I mean, I could throw it at you, of course, but there's no reason. You know? So it's not that kind of fear. The fear is something very old, isn't it? So it's more like an old story, an old dream of years ago. This fear is still working inside you. It's not a fear about something happening now. When you're driving a car, you don't drive along having the fear you're going to crash or something. Yeah? It's more in quiet moments, getting in touch with the past, when you were pretty little, when things were not really easy for you. Yeah? And that created a strong fear when you were little, and that fear is still working inside you. And I would say that's much easier to deal with than something, you know, if you're a fearful person, you're not a fearful person, you just have a fear memory situation.
Yeah, it's true. And I also have a feeling it's still in my body. I have always, when you do this exercise with us where you say, close your eyes, and what is the strongest, maybe it's about thoughts or feelings or body sensations. It's always that I feel I have a tension, or I feel not open in my body. So I really, my body is really keeping, I don't know, me, I cannot describe it. It's protection, kind of protection to not to open up, just to better to keep it a little bit down. But it's like automatically, it's my body, it's doing this, and I.
But this is a very old story, I think.
It must be a very old. Yeah, of course. I have no really. I have sometimes. I did some I did years of therapy with body therapy, and that things came up, and it got much more better. If you would have known me 20 years ago, I would. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, there is an openness that even since I met you in Denia, or that time, I don't know when I first met you again, but I don't remember you from the past, but I remember you only from the last months. And I would say, compared to when I met you and sitting here now, there's definitely something happening. There's something changing. The mere fact you could decide to come to India, I think, wasn't so easy before.
Yeah, I see some progress, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, I probably shouldn't say this, but sometimes I do individual sessions where I'm using LSD, a little bit of LSD. And I discover when I'm doing that people can somehow come into greater trust than normal, maybe. And then I kind of invented, I was surprised, it happened now with 2 people from the community where I've done this. And somehow I can create a kind of special self-inquiry for their particular issue. So yours would be about this old fear. And somehow being very close when you're on LSD, I'm not on LSD, but you're on LSD, that we can look together at this old fear, and I can show you that in a way it's all over because it happened 40 years ago, you know? And so you can do a kind of I invented a kind of self-inquiry where when this old fear would come, because it just shows up sometimes, yeah? That in that moment when it shows up, you don't just go there, you don't take it anymore, because you've already invented a few nice stories that have happened in the last period, like maybe you've got a good acting job or something, yeah? You have a good memory from a good acting job. And so when this old kind of fear stuff shows up, you immediately go to this, you do a kind of special self-inquiry which brings up some good story, like, oh, wasn't it great acting in that play or something, whatever. And I don't know how well it's working, but with one person, I don't know if Parvati can't talk back to us, but Parvati, you can see her sitting there in the kitchen down in Denya, and I did it with her, and she got a great benefit from it. And the other guy there, Krishna, guess they can't hear us. But anyway, he also got... Oh, they can hear us, okay. Anyway, they both got a lot of benefit from this LSD, personal session on LSD. So when you're here for a while, sometime we'll maybe try that. Yeah.
Of course, it's a little bit difficult because it's distributed in the internet, but of course we wouldn't do this here in Germany. We would do this where it's legal. It's clear. Actually, because
we do it in India. We do
or somewhere.
Special project for India.
No, actually, I'm still thinking about this for quite some month or so to maybe do this with psychedelic substances. So it's not so far away from my.
Right.
So yeah, let's.
I think it's beginning to be accepted that you can use those things in a positive way. There's a doctor, spiritual teacher called Deepak Chopra. He lives in California, in San Diego. He has a center there, actually. He's quite an old man now. But because he's a medical doctor, he has been using LSD and has been, in a way, promoting its use for what I'm talking about, actually. They even they have the, they broadcast that on through the internet. So I think it's not really a big issue to talk about things like that.
No, I think it's legal. Yeah, I mean, the guy where I did stuff, he also does it.
I know it from people that do it in Holland. I'm just there's.
Yeah.
But
I think the police are too busy to kind of turn up
also,
and knock on the door at the Open Sky House. And we heard that you on the broadcast the other night you were talking about LSD. I don't think it's a problem. That's one of the good things about being 80, you see, because you're so old that they don't want to waste their time on somebody so old. So I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
So I think we've got to the flower time. I don't know, this looks like the one I would give you. I don't know why, but it's kind of cute one.
Thank you.
Okay. He's definitely changing a lot, isn't he? It's very beautiful when old fear that has been kind of stuck inside starts to move, It's very beautiful because you don't need this fear. There's no point, When it comes from 40 years ago or something, it's just, I'll give you the leaf, okay?
Why?
No, I'll give you a beautiful flower. We're going to have to remember, Lakshmi, to always make a lot of flowers and don't tie them up. I can't get them out when you tie them up, So we need lots of nice flowers. It seems to be a new style of giving meetings.
I don't see you without glasses. So, Valentin, your fears called me here on stage.
Yeah.
Because your fears are also my fears.
And in nearby everyone's story, I saw myself.
Yeah.
If we talk surrender to life, and you, let's see, talked about floating. I think surrendering to life is floating all the time. It's feeling a little bit like this because surrender means to let go the control of life, to let go the illusion of controlling something, and in fact, if
But you know what you have to let go of, yeah? The whole bag of tricks that you're somebody has to go, you know? So this is not easy.
I know.
You spent your whole life to make yourself somebody, and now you met this funny English bloke who says, well, actually, that's not the right direction. You've got to let the whole thing go now and be nobody.
Yeah.
Of course, this is liable to bring up some fear, I would say.
Yeah. But I would like to say is, in fact, why I lived my life, how I lived it, was like a strong boy, and going into confrontation was a little bit the opposite of what is really inside myself. And it's a deep vulnerability, and a little boy who I was always hiding, you know. And I'm, for the moment, in such a stage that I feel, in the same time, very small, very small, very vulnerable, and very powerful in the same time. And all these extremes are very difficult to bear inside myself. And I think when we talk about spirituality, about Ramanas, a lot of things are in the head. Is about who am I? I think this is this way of living, and this way of living, I think, is the body, and we have to fusion both things who are very deep inside in our body. Most part of it are dark sides, which I don't want to see. In my behavior to Lola, for example, I'm so much in an aggressive state that I'm suddenly aware that I'm not in love, and I'm asking myself, why am I doing this, you know? Not being lovely, but being more confrontative and rejecting her, or even I think that I reject myself, or also I'm very hard to myself, and nothing makes me more fear is looking this thing, you know. You see, I'm nearby trembling, you know. It's the thing I hide inside me.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember when you came to the retreat in Spain, you had a kind of courage to talk about vulnerability, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah? So out of yourself, you were sharing deeper parts of yourself, which you didn't have to share in a way. But by sharing it, it feels like, in a way, I don't know the right way to express it, but it's like something is breaking up from inside you. So actually, to be able to live and be so vulnerable, when probably most of your life you had kind of acted out that you weren't vulnerable. You know, you'd always been a kind of strong guy, the boss, blah, blah. He was the leader of a union. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be a tough guy to be the leader of a union, yeah? So you were that guy, you played that part, yeah? And now somehow what you're getting in touch with seems more real, actually.
Yeah.
So the direction now is a good direction, because you're going to connect to things which are more real for who you are.
Yeah. But the thing that I have an healed issue for the moment is confronting me with the fact that I'm getting old,
You can do what?
I'm 70 years less than you, but I have the feeling that I'm not the same man as with 40, with 50. All my behaviors are no more working or less working, you know. And it's a little bit like I'm losing my fundament, you know. You understand what I mean?
But you're 70, are you?
No, 63.
63! God, I thought you were, we're going to be celebrating your 80th birthday soon. 63, you're like a kid, you know.
Yeah, well, it's not feeling like a kid.
I mean, you're not, come on.
How are you feeling with 80?
Well, I feel actually quite good, actually.
Okay.
The only reason I start to feel a bit old, it started when I was 70, basically, because until I was 70, I never thought of being old. I was just whatever I was. But since 70, for the last 10 years, I have to see that like a car, like an old car, there's always some bit where I have to go to the hospital or go to a doctor. And when you go there, who do you meet there? Whole bunch of other 80-year-olds. They're all sitting there, with all their health problems, So this creates, gradually I think to myself, well, maybe I'm like older like those guys, But I feel myself completely separate. I feel poor old guy, but then I look in the mirror and I'm the poor old guy too. But I don't feel like a poor old guy, actually. So now I'm planning to carry on for another 20 years. I'll be inviting you in 20 years' time for my 100th birthday. I'm planning at least 102. I don't know where this came from, really, but we'll have a very good party when I'm 100. We'll buy much more champagne than we bought for this weekend, and we'll have fantastic dinner. And you'll get invited too. So I mean, you're so young. You'll only be 83 yourself.
Yeah.
You'll be
almost. I have an issue with this.
Huh?
I have an issue being old.
But you're not old. 63 is nothing.
I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like very powerful and at the same time, like, the both things are there. I have the courage and at the same time I think, well, it's almost over, This feelings, I live in this extreme.
But you know what? I'll tell you what happened to me, talking about miracles. I was eating in a restaurant some time ago, and there was a wedding party, right? And after they'd had their wedding lunch, they all kind of came outside. I was sitting outside, and I got talking to the bride's father, who would have been about 63, I think. And I felt talking to him that, wow, you're doing pretty well, for your age. And he said, yeah, you should look at my father. And then over there was his father. He was it 90 something, yeah? And his father looked pretty good. He had a nice suit on for the wedding, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, my father is in life as well.
And in that moment, I decided to live until I was 102.
Yeah. It's so simple.
It's kind of, well, I don't know what effect that will have, but, What?
It was a suit.
The suit.
The suit he had.
Yeah, right. Well, I've got a suit, but I don't wear it very often. I get my suit out occasionally. Yeah, we'll go out and have dinner together wearing our suits, and we'll feel like two young things.
Why not? That's a crazy thing. You told it now. I'm not feeling like 63. I'm always young inside my head, my body, my impulses. And what awful life! My father is now in Altersheim. Old people's home. And when I sit, I go in there. Most part of the people are there like this, and they say,
right.
I should do my spiritual work, because if you are 90, 95 and you can't move anymore, you have the same impulses inside than being young. It's crazy, because you can't act them out because your body is no more working.
Your father's 95?
90 now.
90?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But you know, if you keep your eyes open, occasionally I watch on television one of these programs, you know, where they invite people to come and sing a song or dance or something, yeah? And the other day they had a woman who was 90, and she was, I don't know, dancing with a younger man, maybe her son even, I don't know. But anyway, she was 90, and she was like really, you know, going for the dancing. You could never imagine she would be 90.
Yeah.
So I don't know, really. I think it's a lot to do with the mind. I don't feel anything like 80, actually. As I say, it's only when I go to the hospital that I even relate with people of that age, you know. But of course, when I was, say, 30, right, my parents' friends who would have come to our house, you know, who were maybe in their late 50s or 60s, for me, they would have been incredibly old, yeah? Sure. Because in the society, by the time you get to 60, you're very old, yeah? In fact, you can retire at 60, 65, you know, it's like your life's finished. You know? But actually, this is all ridiculous, this old thing, yeah? And I think this part where you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable and maybe to be more humble than you were before, I think this is actually very beautiful, because you're going to discover new things which you didn't know about yourself before.
But the vulnerability is involved with fears, you know.
Yeah.
There are fears on top of the vulnerability, and it's a lot of work of being who am I, and I'm in the same time also this pain inside me, very much pain, which is what is so intensive that I don't even know sometimes if it's pain or it's love, you know. It's like the same medal, only both sides of the medal. And to accept this as my pain in this world, it's surrender. But I have also parts inside who don't want to have this, you know, who are fighting with this, where I'm not surrendering all stuff to life.
Yeah, but maybe it needs some time. You know? Maybe it needs time. Because all this spiritual stuff is all stuff that you can do now. It doesn't really need time, actually. But the reality for human beings is we do need time. You know, we need time, for example, to let the fear go or whatever it is. You know, it's not quick, because it's like layers on layers inside ourselves, and these need to be given a kind of patience, like a patience, and then gradually, in a patience with the confidence, and I would say with the support from somebody on the outside, then gradually these things can go away.
Was heißt Mitgefühl?
Compassion.
Compassion for myself, I'm missing.
Yeah. Oh, you're missing that.
Yeah. I don't have compassion for myself.
Well, I think that's...
I'm very hard to myself.
Right, right.
Therefore, I have problems to have compassion to other people.
Right, right. Yeah, but this is probably a new issue for you. I don't remember you talking about that before. So that's what I was just saying. You know, various things are kind of turning up to be looked at, and this needs time to look at it. You can't just, you know.
And how do I deal with my compassion if I look at Gaza, at Ukraine, or I don't know? You know, I feel these things. What is happening there? It's nearby not bearable for me to see what is happening. You know, it's a huge thing. What we mankind are doing one to another. And if I talk compassion to myself, all these things are entering. It's It's normal. It's crazy.
Just turn the television on.
Yeah.
The last 3 days, my television didn't work. You know, it was very good.
You had no war anymore.
I didn't really need it anymore. I mean, I don't need it anymore. Just having a break for 3 days.
I'm looking for football. I say to Lola, I say John David also looking tennis. I say.
Well, I don't think it's a crime to look at a tennis match or football match on television.
I mean, sometimes spiritual people are so much.
But you don't know what
for holy
things. But you have to be careful. You don't know what they're doing behind.
Yeah.
You see, they have a something like this, and behind they've got all their televisions and whatever they've got. You know. You know, for example, this story about Krishnamurti, J. Krishnamurti. He was a wonderful teacher, and I think a very beautiful man. I was lucky enough to meet him, but it turned out that he'd been having a love affair for many, many years with his main assistant's wife. And he got this wife several times pregnant, and every time she got pregnant, he would put her on a bus to go down and have an operation. Yeah? So, but Krishnamurti was not a guy like that, I don't think. You know, he was a beautiful, pure, white, spiritual, great master, yeah? But the other side was not very nice, actually. To imagine this woman who would go down, by herself on a bus because he couldn't go with her to support her because he was the great teacher. When I first came to Germany, right, it was about 20 years ago when I first arrived in Germany, I was in, where was I? Wait a minute. Leipzig. I was in Leipzig, and I stayed with some people in Leipzig for a few days, I think. And the woman from the house told me, we got a phone call from somebody who met you and said, we really have to meet, you have to really meet John David because he even washes his own teacups. You see? So, I mean, what is all this spiritual stuff, I mean, I'm less and less interested in all this sort of spiritual posturing, because actually it's life. It's life in a particular way, isn't it? You can also wash your cups,
sure.
And you can have a television behind the curtain or something, It doesn't make you less spiritual, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of strange. I mean, last week we were in Spain and we had about 30 people came for the weekend, and it was so clear they had all kind of ideas about how I should be, and unfortunately there were a couple of moments when I completely blew it. I did something that was completely unacceptable. And they're all muttering, kind of, we see that, you see. It's terrible. I don't care a shit about that, I have a terrible reputation, but I'm very authentic.
I know.
So, who cares about their reputation? I'd rather be authentic.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of these great spiritual people are not very authentic.
No, being spiritual don't mean to be holy, to be heilig. That's all.
Yeah, but it does to many people.
Yeah.
I mean, in Spain, how can they compare? They've only got Jesus to compare. They're all Christians down in Spain, Roman Catholic. So who do they think? You have to be a bit like Jesus,
Yeah.
So in the weekend, I tried walking across our swimming pool a couple of times, but didn't work, didn't work. I just don't have what it takes, to walk on water.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, I just have to be this funny English bloke, just like that.
Just like you are.
It's not my thing to walk on water, unfortunately.
Yeah, and most part of when you're in spiritual environment or something, all the people are showing themselves only the nice part of them without telling what is really going on. most part of the time not being able or not being conscious that they also have dark sides inside, and it's always a little bit like cloudy. Everything is nice. We have a nice time here together. We sing together, but that's the truth. Yeah, you get centered into yourself in the moment, but the other things are also there, and they are not often showed in this part of teachings, you know. And you show yourself. You confronted me with your ego, or what? How should I tell it? And it confronted myself, and it's authentic. It's nothing more. And I asked you in Spain what is about Kundalini, and you say, I don't care because I'm not spiritual. I say, blatch.
Yeah, you should talk to her. She's an expert on Kundalini. And talk to her about Kundalini.
And for instance, you said that you are discovering now Ramana Maharshi in you. And I thought, he is an expert of Ramana Maharshi, and now he's discovering a totally new way.
Yes, because
Ramana.
Yeah, but
and I said, respect for you.
But that's why it makes a treasure out of this material. The ashram doesn't want me to publish this. The president screamed at me twice. Unbelievable, his behavior. I mean, he's going to have to make a big apology soon, because every book we bring out, we're getting amazing reviews. You know, people, you know, the ashram has got this book called Talks, right? Talks. And in that book, somebody was doing a diary, right? So, for example, in the period from July to September, 3 months, right? In this book, Talks, 30 pages. And we're going to be publishing 900 pages. For the same 3 months, we're publishing 900 pages. And then the famous book called Talks, there's only 30 pages. You see? So the ashram is going to, I mean, I don't know how they're going to deny this material, because this material, when you read it, you can just feel this is Ramana, the Ramana. Maybe there are odd bits here or there, which may be suspect, but the majority is Ramana. And many people told me they pick up the book and they read a few pages and then their body starts shaking. So what's going on? That's Ramana, surely that's Ramana. And yes, I've since I've been now for, 2 months, almost every day reading this material very intimately, I discovered several things which weren't clear to me before. The thing about vastness wasn't clear. And the other thing is that the Nanya self-enquiry, who you know, every time a thought comes, you ask who does this come to, and so on. So this is really only a beginning for him. You see. But I never found any material about self-enquiry which was any better than Nanya before.
It's a completely new view on Ramana, and Ramana is very in vogue in the whole world. Huh?
Yeah.
You know it, surely. Yeah.
But people, for example, this book, right? When we first published this book, we had no idea if there would be a good reaction. And for the first, I think, year and a half, we didn't sell very many. And suddenly we sold a lot. So we sold 1,000 copies in 2 years in English, and 1,000 copies in Germany of this book. In only 2 years. It's our best-selling book, you see. Because there's something that people discover when they start reading it that blows their brains, basically, because there's stuff in here which you can't find it anywhere else.
I know. I translate it to French, you know.
Yeah, you're doing it in French. Yeah. So when you do it as a translation, it becomes very intimate.
Yeah. It's like being confronted.
Yeah, great.
I already asked if I can translate this in German.
Sure. Oh, in German? Well, we have a good German translator, but you can help her, I'm sure. Yeah.
So
but we probably would ask you to do the next one also in French.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay, well, I better give you a run. We're running out of time. What's the time? 10:30. We're almost over now. But so I can give you, maybe I give you this very nice rose here. You get the best one as you're the last one.
You have compassion for me. Thank you very much.
Wow. So if somebody still likes to come, I can manage one more person. But we can also stop. It's 10:30 now, so it's almost my bedtime, I think. Well, I haven't been to bed before 3 o'clock for 2 months, actually. But now I quite like the idea that I could, yeah. Anybody else like to come? Come on, Kamala, I expect you to come. No? Don't you think she should come? We haven't seen you since you decided our community is terrible and I'm John David is terrible. And off you went into the great world out there where everything is wonderful. Is it wonderful?
Yes.
It is.
It is.
You have a good time. Okay, you're living in Stuttgart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, and you're the manager of a wellness center or something like that.
Yeah, of the massage area inside a spa.
Yeah, right. So you do a lot of massages.
Yes.
Seems to be your destiny then, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking recently, for how many years these arms have been bathing in oil every day, so...
Take it a bit closer, yeah. Okay. There's a very nice art gallery in Stuttgart. Do you know this modern art gallery? There's a big main road. It was designed by an English architect.
You mean this glass cube?
What?
Do you mean this glass cube or the bigger one, this older one, the Staatsgalerie?
A probably older one.
Yeah.
It's not a glass cube. Yeah. It was designed by an architect who I found one of the best English architects actually. And if you go into it, it's got lots of clever stuff in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It has green rubbery stuff on the floor. No, when you come into it, there's a shop and a reception, and then that whole area is covered in this green. Well, that's blue, but actually it's a bit brighter color. It's like neon green floor.
I don't remember.
It's on the main road that goes through Stuttgart. It's actually on that main road. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
In the glass cube one, they have a great restaurant, though.
Do they? Okay. And is it made out of glass? It's really a cube made out of glass?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's like only modern art.
Right.
The past few times I didn't like it that much, but you never know.
Right. So you're becoming a connoisseur of art, are you? Since you...
My new thing is opera.
Your new thing is opera. Yeah. Right. Who was... Amelia's going to opera. That's right, she went to the school, took her to an opera the other day. Yeah. I could imagine she might like opera. Yeah.
Amelia?
Yeah. Are you surprised when you meet these girls, how different they are now?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they talk so much is new to me.
Yeah.
That now the interaction is very different.
Yeah. Well, you've been away for, what, 3 years?
Yeah, like 2.5.
3 or 4 years. Yeah.
I think school changed a lot, right?
Yeah. Amelia's now in her 2nd year, and Naomi in her 3rd year. Yeah, one of their biggest moments was to get a bag to wear, for a school bag. Mm-hmm. And they weigh the big bags, and they're full of heavy stuff, but they never would let me carry them. It's really like a mark of being a grown-up kid to have this big bag on your back.
And did they have these big, Schultüte? Yeah?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Hmm. So can you feel the energy of the Open Sky House has changed quite a lot?
I don't know if I feel the changes.
No?
Just at dinner time I felt, I mean, for me it's like a big homecoming feeling, and there's a lot of love coming. And I could feel it's like there's a structure here which holds this. So there's like so much love already, and also like over the years established in this unpersonal space. And this is basically what I felt, yeah, that I have the sensation of, oh, it's so nice and I'm happy to be here. But actually it doesn't matter really, because it just pours into this whole thing that is here that you can just tune into.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think in the last, I was going to say since you left, but it's nothing to do with you. I wouldn't like to say it like that.
Suddenly everything got better.
But once you left, everything became much better, actually. It's got nothing to do with you, I don't think. But in fact, I feel in the last 2 years that something became more intensive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have you seen this book? Have you read this book? You have.
I have a copy, but I never opened it, I have to admit.
You've never opened it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I hope you're going to be inspired to open this book at any page, right? You can just open it, and after about 3 minutes, your body will start shaking. But, you know, I mean, I'm kind of pleased that you've come to this weekend, because it's so easy to, in a way, lose contact to something that used to be important for you. And I still would say to you what Michael Barnett said to you. You remember in this room, you were sitting there, and he told you he feels you have a potential. And I've always also felt that you have this potential. So, you know, be careful not to get lost in massage oil, and, you know, there's another thing that you definitely have a talent for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a dance, yeah. I mean, you were talking about Vasana, so I have the feeling I'm in that period, that there are certain Vasanas which just need some doing.
Well, we know your favorite Vasanas, but we won't let on.
But also sometimes I can feel this like a yearning or something, which is like, okay, that's all nice, yeah, you have to do this, do it, but, you know, it's like, it's not the end of the story. So.
You're still about 30, are you?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Oh, you're under 30 still?
Yeah.
How old are you?
29.
Anyway, you're still very young, yeah. You're still very young, so I mean, you can still spend a bit more time kind of in your vasanas, whatever they are. But anyway, yeah, I mean, don't let that go completely, you know, because that's really something very beautiful. And you definitely have something inside you which is interested about that. I can feel it, you know, it's just a natural thing you have. And as you know, there's a big toy shop out there, and it's very easy to play with all the toys, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have to say that I'm really thankful for the 5 years here, because I think I wouldn't have been able to accept the life the way that it's possible right now for me. So, yeah, it's completely different for me.
And your mother must be very happy now.
Of course she is.
Her mother used to have a special savings account for when she left this community. So probably you're rather a rich young lady now, are you, with all the...
Yeah, well, not really.
Not really. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Well, that's very good to have a chat. You get the last of the nice roses here. Is that a rose? What is that? What kind of flower is that? Okay. Anyway, it's pink, so you. Okay. Nice. Okay, so I think we definitely stop now. Oh, you want to come? Oh, okay. Kiran, maybe just help him.
So I don't say much, so 2 minutes.
Okay. He's been coming, is it 5 years? 6 years?
7.
7 years he's coming to this group that I call the Sangha group. Yeah? He's been coming for 7 years, and he only speaks maybe once a year. And he's been twice to India, to the Indian retreat twice. And whatever it is with your leg, you still manage everything, yeah?
Nee, what I want to say. So, about half a year ago, during the Sangha, I came to this chair opposite to you, and I didn't know what I was going to say, but I said I know that I am who I always, I know that I am who I always am, before this life and after this life. But I know that, but it was a big part intellectual knowing. But now about 5-6 weeks ago, it came to me, and I suddenly saw there's nothing. There's nothing. It is complete. It is perfect, and that gives such feeling from there's nothing more to do.
All right.
Yeah. I want to say that for your birthday.
That's the best birthday present, you know. Yeah. And how did it actually happen? Was there something like something energetic happened?
No, I had more from this. Yeah, I call it experience, but actually it is not an experience. It's also not a climb, but I had for before always. I have not always, but I have often that something come suddenly. Then suddenly it's clear, and yes, it's clear for all.
Right.
It was.
And this was a few months ago.
Hmm?
This was a few months ago.
No,
3 or 4 months ago.
This was 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Ah, okay.
Just after the last Sangha.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Good.
Yes, really well.
And so now every day, is it pretty calm inside?
Yeah, it was very calm and peaceful. Yeah. And I thought that it would be light, so from before I have that light come to me. So I've had it before, but I would expect so from this, but I only saw quite still, complete, and it's I had when I saw it first, I had a very happy feeling. So from it's complete. There is nothing. There's nothing to do. There's nothing. that's
And there's nothing really to talk about either, is there?
what say you?
Well, you would probably love to tell us how chocolate tastes, yeah? But you can't, can you?
I don't
can't-
understand. Can you tell it in Dutch? Dat versta ik niet.
You know?
I don't
So,
Je kunt niet uitleggen hoe chocolade smaakt, zegt John David. En jij hebt hier ook eigenlijk geen woorden voor.
Ik heb hier nog een.
Kom naar je.
what I'm trying to say to him is that he can't really talk about what's going on inside him because it's going on, he knows, but he can't really explain it and talk about it. And it's the same with chocolate. If you think about chocolate,
Yes,
you can't really explain to somebody if they've never tasted it. You have to taste chocolate, then you know.
Yeah,
But
I've also in the past when I talk about from what I'm feeling, I give it away and then I want to keep it inside and I want to. Yeah.
You don't want to try to talk about it, but actually it's impossible to talk about. You know, but one of the things in this new book, yeah, there's one chapter where Ramana was asked, "Who are you?" Right? Who are you? And he said, "I don't know." His answer was, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
This is quite a surprising answer, I think. So you know from your own inner knowing, but you can't really, I mean, you've expressed the energy of it now, but you can't, if you meet somebody, I don't know.
You can't explain it.
You can't explain it, you can't, yeah.
Yeah. You can only feel it
Yeah,
and
right.
be it.
You know it, but you can't explain.
Yeah, now I know it, not only intellectual, but I really
Right.
know it now. And they also, but they also said that I feel I come from a family from 11 children, and they all have children. So I'm now in the time that the babies comes from the children of my brothers and sisters, and also my eldest daughter have also many girlfriends, and they had also family. So when I'm on birthday of my daughter or my grandchildren, I see many new babies.
You're a fertile family.
Yeah,
I met your daughter.
Eh?
I met your daughter. Do you remember? She came to Italy.
No, not that.
Not that one.
That's my youngest daughter. No, my oldest daughter has 3 children.
Okay.
Yeah. Nee, but
And how is the daughter? How is the daughter who came to India? How is she doing? Is she still in Italy?
I don't know. Maybe she had a place in Italy, but they want to sell it. But it's probably possible that she is still yet. I don't know, but anyway, soon she lives in Finland because Elias is Finn.
Okay.
Nee, maar what I want to say van die babies. So from when you look to the baby, they are so pure and they are still in that energy. And now I feel so in what energy the babies are. So from that.
You feel like you're a baby again. You feel like you're a baby again because this innocence is what you can feel inside. This innocence.
Yeah. So the babies, they are still in the energy, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is your biggest speech in 7 years, you know. He never spoke so much before. In fact, I didn't even know he could speak so much.
No, I told once, I told...
No, sorry, twice you spoke in 7 years. That's not so, you're not exactly the most... Okay.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay.
I don't need to clean so van.
Okay, no flowers for you.
The clean is very beautiful here. And
As
so
long as-
let it be.
Oh, well, these are.
Let it be
these
here.
are-
So it's so beautiful. Let it be.
Would you like
clean.
this?
No.
No.
When somebody wants.
Did I give you one? You got one. Yeah. Well, you've been translating.
You see all the.
Okay, good. Thank you.